Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are in the process of expanding our industry, because expanding our industry is how you raise standard of living and taxation base. Um, so from here, I think, let me see, radicals and loyalists are both are doing okay. Our comparison is all right. A little more loyalists than radicals. Feeling pretty pleased about that. We got high taxes, but cash flow is doing fine. Like I'm where I want to be with cash flow, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Obviously, I would love not to have debt because I'm paying a little bit of interest, and once I'm not paying a little interest, my cash flow will just generally be a lot better. But I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Still at 19th position in the world. Don't have a lot of ways of getting forward on that. Obviously, I could expand the size of my military, but my military is a little bit weak. Actually, let me grab a new leader. This fella is a trench rat, Agostino Chiodo, and I think he's the right fella for the task. I just want to make sure that I've got a buffer so that if any of my current fellas die, I'm not in a situation where my armies are being run out of organization. Now why can't this lead mine... Okay, the lead mine is hiring now. Now that I'm looking at them, the lead mine is hiring. I can privatize. Does anyone have investment rights in me? Doesn't seem like it. Okay, Glassworks is hiring. Hey, there's the egalitarian. Wonderful. So it seems that has triggered an event. Maybe both of these are from that. Let's take a look at them. Contentious topics. An event organized by the liberal movement transformed into a brawl as opponents of the movement infiltrated the crowd. When the police arrived, no participant was willing to give a consistent statement. Most of them had at least one bruise, a cut lip, or a bloody nose. His was much less honorably obtained than most. He'd whacked his hip against the corner of a table or rushing for the exit, only to nearly run headlong into an approaching gendarme. Two conflicting stories rose to mind. One that he would tell to the detective, and one that he would tell to his friends. Give them all a day in jail to cool off, salty industrialists, or seek charges to the event's organizers. Weaker liberal movement, industrialists very unhappy. I'm going to go with the first one. That's interesting. Growing frustration. Unhappy members of the rural folk are frustrated that the state refuses to give them access to any organs of government, and will not humor them at all. Angelo Carniani, in particular, has been escalating his anti-government rhetoric with some surprising ideological thoughts baked in. Angelo Carniani is a pacifist. Alright, cool. This government is unmatched in the extent of its perjuries. Its determination to extinguish the voice of the people has been accompanied by a succession of criminal acts, comprising... Robert? Robert! How dare the government, Robert! Oh man, what a good typo. Comprising destruction of property, murder, maiming, Robert, and far too many more to name. Oh, and they misspelled maiming as well. Oh man, this one needed another pass. That's okay. Humanity will shudder when reading this disgraceful page of history because of the typos. Oh, refuse to bend to these loudmouths. 33% chance he becomes a radical. Ew. 33% chance there's rural folk become salty. How are the rural folk currently feeling? They're not doing super happy. Or 33% chance all opposition interest groups become unhappy. Or let them petition the government at least. Rural folk becomes stronger and happier. 50%, and then 50% chance of... I see. And then there's between there's two events. Each of them has a 50% chance to increase or decrease the approval of the opposition. So this is interesting. This is a new event. I'm going to refuse to bend because if I get more radicals, I might be able to shift towards a a more Republican position, and that'll be better for the Risorgimento, I've been told. Refused to bend. It worked! He became a radical. Excellent. So that makes the rural folk big mad. So that should make the liberal movement stronger. Now, if I want to go to... I can go to theocracy. That doesn't help anybody. A lot of people would be happier with landed voting. Some people would be happier with wealth voting. So the best option is universal suffrage. But I can only do that by pushing the landowners out of the government. Now, if I do that, I do not have the ability to form a legitimate movement consisting of just the people who would support that. The Catholic Church are neutral on distro power still, right? Yeah, seems that way. Okay. Well, there are options. If I can get a radical in charge... Actually, there's a smarter way to do this. Okay. Well, look at the exiled agitators. None of them are available, but let's take a look at radicals. This guy's a Democrat, so he'd be useful, but he aligns the rural folk. They're already in the hands of a radical. Same with this guy. He's in the intelligentsia. And they're the only ones. Okay, so this is not going to help me do a democracy. Because I think being a democracy is better for the Risorgimento. I think that's the way that works. We're going to throw the iron mines ahead of the other furniture manufactory just to get those running, and that'll reduce construction costs. I am now in the black, which is slowly reducing the amount of interest I'm paying, which is very good. Trade centers reduced in size some, but it seems like they're profitable now, or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how to get trade centers profitable. I don't think I should be subsidizing them. Beautiful. There is intensive agriculture. Excellent. So, go to increased wool gathering and soil enriching farming. And what does that do to our fertilizer market? It makes grain a lot cheaper. It makes fertilizer a lot more expensive. Okay, so let's grab our wheat farms. Let's have the farms that are not in Piedmont proper not use the new method, and that's going to make fertilizer kind of affordable. Now, I'm going to need to produce a fertilizer plant. Fertilizer plants input sulfur, which I'm also going to need to produce. I can't produce that here, but I can produce it in Sardinia. So we'll do that. You know, the early game is a lot like this, going, I want to build a bunch of universities, and then not building them. I know it can be kind of silly, but it is what it is. Let's put these furniture manufacturers at the back of the queue. Now, what's in the private queue? Okay, they do have more lead mines under construction. That's pretty good. Again, very slowly licking our national debt. Lick as in whacking it. I'm not going into the bank and grabbing the debt notes and going, ugh! I'm not a barbarian. That you know of. I don't know why I turned into Jon Stewart's impression of George W. Bush right there, but, you know, weirder things have been done on more normal streams than me. Don't pay attention to the food security situation. Oh no, that's low standard of living, but it's in Provence. No, this is territory held by held by my country regardless of how I treat it. I'm a little silly about that. And I'm still paying the government, which is a thing that I am rarely doing at this point in my playthrough. Typically I am not paying the government as much. Delicious water. So once I'm done improving relations with all the rest of the Italian states, who do I want to improve relations with? Maybe Bavaria, maybe Switzerland. Maybe Switzerland. Switzerland are good people to be friends with in the early game. Happily, they're able to trade through France, which means hopefully they won't have that situation where they're stuck having a population collapse problem. Let's take a look at the power blocks. I think it's just the starting power blocks at the moment. Obviously, British Empire is in position 1. Then the Zollverein, which is the Prussian Trade League. Rossiyskaya Imperia, the sovereign empire of Russia. And below that is the Devleti Alia, which is the Ottoman Empire's... Oh, they got a sovereign empire. That's interesting. I didn't realize. And then finally, the Metternich system, held up by Austria. Oh, I can look at what they've got. At their tenets. Creative legislature and defensive cooperation. Oh, that's interesting. Zollverein is internal trade 2 and police coordination 2. Alright, not a shocker. Rossiyskaya Imperia, defensive cooperation 2, vassalization 1. British Empire, vassalization 1, and colonial offices 3. Well, this isn't shocking. And then the Ottoman Empire's vassalization 1, external trade 2. That's cool. I didn't realize I could see what was going on with other people. Oh. The Ottomans and the Egyptians are shooting at each other, and the Austrians are involved on the side of the Egyptians, which I guess is not shocking because historically the Ottoman Empire and the Austrian Empire have not had great relations. Nearly done with my next round of iron mines. Ionian Islands improving relations. That's good, I guess. What is this? Well, these are world market access points. Interesting. So that's reduced the price of iron to a certain extent. Then I'm going to do the second one here, and that's going to really help. Now, unfortunately, the private sector misread economic indicators and built a lead mine where none will be useful. So that's not ideal. But maybe I can subsidize the export of lead? Now that my glassworks are running, kind of. Actually, they're not really. It's quite curious. They're getting there. They're doing their best. A good vintage. The wine produced in Savoy has been lauded by sommeliers as outstanding. When people say that something ages like wine, they don't always make the distinction between wine and wine. So let me make that distinction. If you can get your hands on a bottle from Savoy, that bottle can be more than just a good time. It can be an investment. Make this an exclusive product for export, 5% prestige, or increase production to meet booming demands, 50% wine building throughput. Now, this is our first time getting this event in this run, but let me tell you, wine, basically never expensive. Wow, actually, buy orders of wine are pretty high. 5% prestige is not much. Let's increase demand. Let's increase production. I've never done that before. I'm glad I checked. Oh, but actually, I'm bringing a lot of my wine in from the world market. So maybe if I produce more wine, then maybe... yeah, because I got a bunch of vineyards. Yeah, and then the trade centers can reduce the amount of wine they bring in. In fact, I'm going to throw some import tariffs on wine so that my vineyards can produce as much wine as they like. Now, do I want to put in trade subventions for dyes? I think yes. Oh, that's subventions for export. I'm going to put in subventions for import. It's going to cost me Not that much, actually. Let's do that, because that's going to make our trade centers more productive, and I definitely want that. Ammunition? We'll put in solid subventions, because I want to be able to bring in as much of that as I can. Because I'm dependent on that for my armies to function. The Grand Alliance has been formed by the United States, an ideological union with creative legislature. Okay, alright. Cash flow's going well this time, friends. We're almost out of debt, actually. Which means our interest payments are almost zero, which is also good. I'm continuing to increase iron production as construction sectors and every other type of industry want to cost more and more iron. I'm continuing to increase the size of the iron extraction sector, and I think that's making the right call. It's certainly helping cash flow for the government, which is good. My debt ceiling is about 4 million, which means my maximum gold reserve is going to be lower than that by quite a bit, probably. Because why do the landowners keep becoming powerful? Stop it. Stop being powerful. Get weaker. Nobody likes you guys. Ooh, there's a bar for battles now. Oh, that's wonderful. I love that. Oh, that's such a good quality of life improvement. Oh, I'm very pleased. Alright, so I finished improving relations with my Italian neighbors. Let's improve relations with other nearby countries. Improve relations with the Ottomans? I don't think so. I don't want them messing with me, though. Maybe I'll just have a little bit of relation improvement with the Ottoman Empire as a treat. On second thought, let's improve relations with Britain. I almost always start by improving relations with Britain, because Britain tries to get you wherever on the map you are. Stupid British and their stupid boats. Stop having boats, Britain. Never trust an Englishman in a boat. Okay, now I'm just being silly. One day, I'll be able to produce my own ammunition. In fact, I'm getting pretty close from a tech perspective. So there's the Atmo pump engine. So now, let's grab these mines and get them pumping. Coal shortage. Oops. I made a mistake. I need coal mines. And then once I've got a coal mine, I'll be pumping. Oh man, that was incredibly funny. I am so good at video games. The atmospheric engine. Through the widespread introduction of the atmospheric engine in the miners, your productivity is at an all-time high. When steam first began to pump and wheels go round at so many revolutions per minute, what are called business habits were intended to make the life of man run in harmony with the steam engine, and his movements rival the engine in punctuality. I'm sure we can squeeze a little more from these machines, extra mines throughput. I love that idea, I'm not going to do it. Perhaps there's an even better way. Bunch of free progress on water tube boiler. I'm going to go with that second one. Progress on water tube boiler is going to make my mines even more productive, which is going to make my whole situation more productive. So yeah, once I got a coal mine running, I'll get my iron mines pumping, and then we'll be in a really good stead. I might even be able to increase the size of the construction sector. Imagine having a larger construction sector like a mad lad. That's what I might do. Because the construction sector is... my GDP is not increasing at the rate at which I would like my GDP to be increasing. And there's only one way that's going to happen faster, and that's through construction. Better living through construction. Got diplomatic ties with Brazil. Let's improve relations. I can always have more friends. Does the United States know I exist? They don't. But one day they will, because one day I will be not a Sardinia-Piedmont, but an Italy. And on that day, the United States will know I exist. Don't want to have to fight Austria. No! Brazil, no! One day Brazil will remember I exist. Improve relations broken. They were so put out by me improving relations that they were like, I don't know, no thank you, I don't wish to hang out with you. I don't wish to hang out with you, Sardinia-Piedmont. You may go. And then they change the structure of their interests. See what the private sector is building. They're building tooling workshops, which is fine. They're also building another iron mine. I've got so many iron mines running now. But again, I'm going to need more iron, so it just makes good sense for us to have a bunch of iron mines. Now, I'm developing a gold reserve. What is my actual reserve limit? It's about 500,000. Alright, and my debt limit was 4 million, so as you can see, the reserve limit is significantly lower than the debt limit. Which I'm not going to say makes sense or doesn't make sense. I think it makes sense for what the game is trying to do. They don't want you to necessarily run a full treasury all the time. And, you know, it's very common for nations to operate with sovereign debt, right? Virtually every country operates with a potentially even a rather extreme amount of sovereign debt. I'm going to cue in my increase in the size of the construction sector because I'm feeling very good cash flow-wise. The play for power. I don't like the sound of that. Angelo Carniani, leader of the rural folk, has made a remarkable play for power in the capital in order to secure a spot for the rural folk within the government. However, it's not entirely clear if they should be rewarded for their novel tactics. There's only one light on the street that leads to the rural folks' headquarters, and there's only one light on inside. There, Angelo Carniani relaxes among the sumptuous mahogany furniture and velvet cushions. The lamp is identical to those that have been sent from the east. The ends justify the means, and our means are very, very justified. It's difficult to not believe him when he offers an inviting seat by his side. He should be recognized for this, stronger rural folk, or not all is fair in love and war. Weaker and angrier rural folk. I'm going to say he should be recognized for this. Again, if I can drain some support out of the landowners, that's really what I want. Diplomatic ties with Brazil, you know what that means. One day this bar will increase and our relations will go up by 1. Alright, so there's power of the purse. That's fine. Let's go ahead and enable that from my naval bases. Marginally better than no naval doctrine whatsoever. And then we got screw frigates. Screw frigate is fine. It's not a life-changing tech, but it's nice to have it spread so that you don't have to research it. Because screw frigate, it's like many of the tier 2s, it just sort of takes a long time to research and doesn't really provide all that much value. Ottoman Empire damaging relations. Well, oh goodness, how about you didn't? I don't know why Ottoman Empire wants to go after me. Actually, I'm going to stop improving relations. If the Ottoman Empire wants to fight me, they can. I don't think they're going to finish their Tanzimat. I don't think they're going to successfully reform, so I think I'll be able to take them in a fight. I can take the Ottoman Empire in a fight. So what I'll do instead... maybe I'll improve relations with their subject states. So that when the time comes, we'll be able to take them in a fight. That'll be fun. Maybe I'll steal a subject state. I would like to steal Tunis. What kind of an army does Tunis have? Irregular infantry and hussars. I could take Tunis in a fight. I don't have enough of a navy to invade them. Oh, I forgot to do that thing. That thing, what with my construction. Alright, iron mines, Atmo pumps. Atmo pump for the sulfur mines as well. Lead mines I'm going to leave for the moment. Because I don't need that much more lead in my market. But perhaps one day I shall. So now I've completely wrecked my tooling and coal industries. Wow, we're bringing in a lot of coal from abroad. But my coal mine is running at maximum capacity, right? No, we're getting there. We're getting there, but we're not running at maximum capacity yet. So hopefully that means a reduction in the amount of coal being bought from the world market over time. And yes, it does. So to support that, we'll add an import tariff, and we'll remove the export tariff. Because again, we want to produce all of our own coal, and to support that, we will lead to the construction of another coal mine. A second coal mine has been added to the construction queue, and then one day this fertilizer plant's going to be built. Actually, the coal mine matters more than the fertilizer plant. Where are we with infrastructure? Slowly getting towards the limit here. Ooh, got some starvation. That's not ideal. But our wheat farms, they're so productive. Sad. Construction sector has been increased in size. Cash flow is being largely maintained. So maybe I can afford to do another one. We'll see. What's the iron market like? Iron's pretty affordable. I'm gonna make iron more expensive if I do this. Let's do it. Let's put another one in Sardinia. Another construction sector, that is. We'll build that real fast. And then we'll build a coal mine even faster. And maybe we'll also build a sulfur mine at the same time. Again, I am at high taxation, and I want to remain conscientious of that because I've put myself into situations before where I've sat around at high taxation for too long and just, like, not even realized, not even been cognizant that I was there, and I've made that mistake in this game, and I don't want to make it too much. We are starting to develop a lot of radicals. Standard of living took a little bit of a hit. But here's hoping that the expansion of the size of the economy will continue to support increased wage growth and all that other good stuff that we like and that we want to have for our things, and that the taxation won't be that big of a deal once we've gotten our economy successfully just sort of chugging along and running. Alright, we're at about the middle of our reserve limit, so talk to me. Money situation. Money situation's okay. Money situation is still okay. Okay, there we go. It's going down, but it's at a point where we can live. Construction sector is increasing in employment. All right, there we go. So most of our construction is being used by the government constructions now, and that's why this number is not looking as good. And there we go. Perfect. All right, so we're very near breaking even now. Optimal sunlight. Excellent. Oh, and Lombardy. Give me your sunlight, Lombardy. One day I'll be able to take Austria. One day I'll be able to take Austria in a fight. But today is not that day. Currently working on mechanical tools. Once mechanical tools are done, I can get over to railways. So that is going to necessitate the construction of... You know, it's funny. Actually, I think I want Central Archives first. Then we'll circle back and do mechanical tools. I'll do the water tube boiler. Bessemer process is en route. And then after that... Oh, nationalism is spreading to us. Oh, beautiful. So I don't need to research nationalism. That'll be just fine. That'll sort itself right out. I'm realizing I have not swapped over my production methods for my infrastructure buildings. And I cannot... Because I'm a state religion country. Alright, well, it is what it is. Could go to gas streetlights. Could go to market squares. Ooh, yes, I need to go to market squares. That's going to create a market for glass, and that's going to be good. Could go to gas streetlights. That's going to increase the price of coal. Let's go ahead and do it. Extra services would be nice. That'll increase standard of living. A monument to the king. A statue of Carlo Alberto di Savoia was commissioned and has been suggested that it be displayed proudly in Sardinia. Romantic is how you would describe the look in the face of the statue when it smiles down on you, eyes that flicker in the opposite direction of the sun, though maybe you are just imagining it. A monument worthy of the king, extra prestige, 2% of pops in Sardinia become more radical, or perhaps not everyone wishes to be reminded of the king, petite bourgeoisie unhappy. I'm going to go with the first one. I don't want to make my petite bourgeoisie unhappy. A foreign manifesto. The recently translated works of Vicente Azuero have become popular within the radical movement. The relationship has developed to the point of Vicente Azuero openly endorsing the movement. And for a whole large class, there is no other road, especially for a nation so eminently practical as the Piedmontian. The great thing is to get the working class to move as a class. That once obtained, they will soon find the right direction, and all who resist will be left out in the cold with small sects of their own. This is the radical movement. Which is pretty strong. Our struggle is an international one, 10% stronger. Or this foreign interference ought to be punished. Saltier and unhappy armed forces, weaker movement but more active. I'm going to say our struggle is an international one, because having a strong radical movement might be good for the country, actually, now that I think about it. Now that I'm thinking on it some, having a strong radical movement, trying to get all those tasty votes might be good for the country. In fact, I have the ability to implement a voting system. And why do I have that? Because of my liberal and radical movements. Now, if I go to universal suffrage straight away, the children will be unhappy. And by the children, I mean mostly the landowners. I could go to census suffrage, but census suffrage is a little bit of a trap. I could go part of the way there and go do wealth voting, but wealth voting tends to make it a little bit harder to get all the way back to universal. Almost everyone would be happier with landed voting. Wealth voting will make the absolutist movement unhappy. But it will also reduce the radicalism of the radical and liberal movements. I don't necessarily want to do that, because I want to get to university. I want to get to universal. The fickle crowd, the populist base of the trade unions is turned against supporting foreign entanglements. Pressure from within has led the group to distance themselves from the anti-Austrian League. Piedmontian needs first. The people say no to foreign entanglements and no to foreign treaties. Prosperity at home or chaos abroad. No foreign power could successfully attack a fortified Sardinia-Piedmont. It was a mistake to rely on them. They leave the anti-Austrian League, or they must steer clear of these populist ideas. They get weaker. I'm fine with them leaving the anti-Austrian League. I didn't want them in there to begin with. So, it's completely fine with me if they just bail completely the heck out. That having been said, that is all the time we've got for this episode, my friends. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.